Number 8, we are graphing an inequality. It says y is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 5. Again, it has the equal to bar underneath, so this one we want to leave solid. We're going to graph y equals negative 2x plus 5. Now you could make a table and plug in nice easy numbers 0, 1, and 2 and find your points. If x is 0, y is 5. If x is 1, negative 2 times 1 is negative 2 plus 5 is 3. If x is 2, negative 2 times 2 is negative 4 plus 5 is 1. So 0, 5, 1, 3, 2, 1. That was one way we graphed the line. The other way we graphed the line was using your slope and your y-intercept. So some of you might like to make a table. Some of you might just like to do this. This is my y-intercept, that number on the end. My y-intercept's 5. Yep, there it is. My slope is negative 2. If my slope is negative 2, I have to go down 2 and to the right 1. So if I go down 2 and to the right 1, down 2 and to the right 1, hey, I got the exact same dots as I did when I made a table. I like to use the slope and the y-intercept. To me, that's quicker, but some people like to use a table, and you can use a table. That works. Either way, I got to get my line on there. Whoops, if I could draw straight. Now, this one's going to stay solid, which it is. I have to figure out my shading. I'm thinking about the y value. So look at your y-intercept of 5. Y, we want to be less. So I want to go down on my y-axis, down here. And so I end up shading here, not here. Up here would be greater. My y values would be greater than that 5. So here's the section I'm going to end up shading. Like I said, the easiest thing to do is find your y-intercept. If it's less, draw an arrow straight down. If it's greater, draw an arrow straight up and see which side of your line you need to shade. So, number 9, I want to graph the inequality. Y is less than negative 3x minus 3. I look at my inequality and say, oh, I got to draw it solid, but I'm going to change it to a dashed line. But first I got to get my line on there. My y-intercept is at negative 3. So on my y-axis I'm going to mark negative 3. My slope is also negative 3. So negative 3 over 1. Down 3, 1, 2, 3, over 1. Down 1, 2, 3, over 1. I then can draw my line. I'm just going to go ahead and make this a dashed line to begin with. You know, on Alex, you have to draw it solid, but change it to a dashed line. Now again here, I'm doing less than. So here's my y-intercept. If I go right on the y line, less than, going down, that means I end up to be on this side of my line. So some people will say, oh, I'm shading right or left. You're really not, because you're thinking about the y-axis, up or down. I'm shading down below my line. Here we're graphing the inequality y is greater than or equal to 1/3 x plus 1. This one, if I look at it, I know my line has to be solid. And then I'm going to graph. So my y-intercept is at 1. My slope is a positive 1/3. So I'm going to go up 1 and over 3. Up 1 over 1, 2, 3. Up 1 and over 1, 2, 3. Draw my line. Now if you were going to make a table on this one, careful on what you pick. You'd want to use something like 0, 3, and 6 so that you end up with nice whole number answers. If you pick a 2, then you're going to have 2/3 plus 1. Not that you couldn't do it, but it's not as easy. And once I got my line there, it's a solid line. I want to shade greater than, so I look at my y-intercept and think about going up from my y-intercept. So this part of my line is all greater than my 1/3 x plus 1.